Hello everyone, myself Rashmi TN, working as a lecturer in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today in this 8th session of Unit 5, that is regulating the green IT, the laws, standards and protocols, we'll discuss about the social movements and the Greenpeace. So first in this session, we'll see what are the social movements and what is Greenpeace is and what are the restrictions or what are the activities that the Greenpeace conduct. Then followed by that we'll have assessment with few multiple choice questions and descriptive questions. So here we'll discuss about social movements and the Greenpeace. So if something is going wrong, then there has to be someone who shows a way to correct that. So if the organizations keep manufacturing different electronic products and keep contributing increasingly the GHG emissions and the carbon footprint into the environment, then there must be someone who fights against that and controls the organizations in order to protect the environment. So there comes the Greenpeace. Greenpeace, it is a non-governmental environmental organization. That is, it is not run by the government. It is a private organization. It fights for the protection of the environment. So it was founded in the year 1971. The goal of Greenpeace is to ensure the ability of the earth in order to nurture the life in all diversity. And Greenpeace, it doesn't beat around the bushes. It is always known for its direct actions. And it is the most visible environmental organization in the world. So in the year 1990, Greenpeace, it raised awareness about global warming and also it focuses on the ICT providers. So Greenpeace ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇದು 1971 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಮೇನ್ ಗೋಲ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ತ್. ಸೊ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಲೈಫ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜೀವಿಗಳನ್ನ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಲೈಫ್, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರದ ಜೀವಿಗಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಪಣ ತೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಏನೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಸೊ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂತ ಒಂದು ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್. ಸೊ 1990 ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿತು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬೋತ್ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ICT ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್ಸ್, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯ ICT ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರಿಂದ ನಾದ್ರೂ ಈ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಮರ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಕಡಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಏನ್ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಫುಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ, ಅದನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ಸೊ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ GHG ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ರಿಎಮಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಿಎಮಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಅರ್ಥದ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅರ್ಥ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪೋಲಾರ್ ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಐಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಫ್ಲಡ್ಸ್, ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಆಗುವಂತ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಹೋರಾಡೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ 1990ಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ನ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ Greenpeace will actually categorize the manufacturers of the IT products ಏನಿದೆ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ 3 ಕೆಟಗರಿ ಆಗಿ 3 ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್, the other one is e-waste and third one is GHG protocols. Toxic chemicals ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ we know they are very poisonous and they can harm any life on the earth. ಸೊ ಈ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಎಸಿತೀವೋ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ GHG ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹಾರ್ಮ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ದೇರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಸೇಫ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ಸೇಫ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಟು use or handle them. So Greenpeace, it will actually impose pressure on the organizations in order to use precautionary principle for usage and for handling those toxic chemicals. In addition to that, it will also insist for the chemical management. It establishes a timeline for the elimination of PVCs and BFRs and also establishes a timeline for the phase out of the substances like beryllium, and it will also insist for evaluation of PVC free and BFR free models. So PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride. So polyvinyl chloride, it is the world's third most widely produced synthetic plastic polymer. So in each year around 40 million tons of PVCs will be produced. So this polyvinyl chloride, or in short form what we call it as PVC, it is a major source of phthalates. So these phthalates, they are very dangerous plastic softeners that are banned from children's toys last year. So many children's school supplies such as lunch boxes, backpacks and binders, they can be made out of these PVC, a toxic plastic that is dangerous to our health and the environment. So PVC, it contains dangerous chemical additives including the phthalates, lead, chromium and organotins, which can be toxic to our children's health. So these toxic additives, they can leach out or they can evaporate into the air over the time, posing unnecessary danger to children. Similarly, BFR, it stands for brominated flame retardants. BFRs, they are the mixtures of man-made chemicals that are actually added into a variety of products, including for the industrial use in order to make them less flammable. So they are commonly used in plastics, textiles and electrical and electronic equipment. So these brominated flame retardants, they are organobromine compounds that have an inhibitory effect on the combustion chemistry and tend to reduce the flammability of the products. containing them. So the brominated variety of commercialized chemical flame retardants, they comprise approximately 19.7% of the market. So one type of this brominated flame retardant, it has been linked to cause cancer and has been shown in the mice and rats in order to disrupt the thyroid hormone system, which plays a crucial role in the development of the brain and the body. So green peas, it actually plays a very important role, and it very clearly pressurizes the organizations to establish a timeline for the elimination of very dangerous chemicals such as polyvinyl chlorides and brominated flame retardants. Similarly, it also establishes a timeline for the phase out of the substances like beryllium. Beryllium, it is actually a toxic bivalent element which is actually steel gray in color, and it is very strong and lightweight, and they are primarily used as a hardening agent in the alloys. So this beryllium, it is very commonly associated with the diseases of lungs. In addition to that, it can also affect the organs such as liver, kidney, heart, nervous system, and lymphatic systems. So the direct contact with the beryllium fumes or the dust, it may injure the exposed areas of the body such as eyes or the skin. So skin sensitization may also occur because of getting exposed to this beryllium directly. Beryllium, it was actually determined to be a lung hazard in Europe in the year 1930, soon after its production in the modern industry. It was only in the 1940s that the USA recognized the lung diseases that is associated with the beryllium exposure in the workers who were engaged in the manufacturing of the fluorescent lamps. Hence, Greenpeace, it actually imposes extreme pressure on the organizations who are involved in handling all these very toxic chemicals to establish a timeline for the phase out of those substances like beryllium. And in addition to establishing a timeline for the elimination and phase outing of the substances like PVC, BFR, and beryllium, Greenpeace also insists or demands the organizations to evaluate PVC free and BFR free models. That is, it actually pressurizes the organizations to completely eliminate or completely not use the chemicals like PVC and BFRs in the manufacturing of their products. So one such company or few of those companies which have accepted this policy of the Greenpeace is Nokia, Sony Ericsson, and there are many more companies who are doing this. So the second criteria is the e-waste. That is, it is the individual producer responsibility. That is, Greenpeace says that it is the responsibility either physically or financially. It is the complete responsibility of the manufacturer or the producer to very safely take back the unused products from the user, or to safely dispose them, or to safely recycle, reuse, or refurbish the electronic products. And also voluntary take back. So it insists for the voluntary take back because a company manufactures a product, sells it to the customers, the customer uses that product for few years, after that it becomes useless for the customer. So what he does is, instead of giving back to the manufacturer, or if the manufacturer won't voluntarily take it back, then the user has to dump it somewhere, which actually contributes to the pollution, because many toxic chemicals or hazardous chemicals are deployed in the manufacturing of that electronic product, which may cause too much of health hazards to the human life and other life on the earth. So Greenpeace, it insists or it demands the organization to voluntarily take back what it has given to the customer when it is not in use. So it insists the it insists the organizations to voluntarily take back the disposed e-waste or disposed electronic products from the user and see that whether it can be refurbished or whether it can be recycled, or if it cannot be done anything, then it should be safely disposed. And it also insists to make provision to take back or recycling information to the customers. So customers, they simply purchase the products and they'll use it, and if it is not necessary, then they'll dispose it. They'll not know how to dispose those electronic products, and also they are unaware of the damages or the effects that the poisonous chemicals which are present in the electronic product would do to the life on the earth. So the organizations have to make provisions in order to provide information to the customers regarding how the electronic product, when it is not in use, will be taken back by the organization or through the e-collectors who actually collect the e-waste, and also should provide the information to the customers about the recycling of the product. So whenever a product becomes unused by the customer, it doesn't mean that the entire product is eligible for the dispose. So there are some parts which are not working, or some parts which are actually in good condition, or some materials which can be used as a raw material for the manufacture of some other product. So if the organization or the manufacturer gives information, clear information to the customers regarding the recycling and the take backing of the products, then the customers will definitely dispose them in a proper way. And also the manufacturers have to make disclosures on the amount of products recycled. So if the recycling concept is not there, then the manufacturer has to invest a lot of money into the business to produce more and more products for the customers. So when the product is already in the market and there is a little problem in the device, then the customer can give it back to the manufacturer and he can recycle that and give it back to the customer for the regular use. So manufacturer has to give information regarding how many products have been recycled by them. They have to disclose that information. And in addition to that, it also has to use the recycled plastic content in the products and also in the packaging. So we know that plastic is a very dangerous element. So instead of using it and dumping somewhere, we have to give it back, so that the same plastic, instead of manufacturing a different plastic, new plastic, and making it use in the packaging and in the manufacture of the products, a manufacturer can take back the old plastic, recycle it, and can make use of that recycled plastic in the manufacture of a product and also in the packaging of that product. So the third criteria, it is the GHG protocol, that is Greenhouse Gases Protocol. This GHG protocol, it actually categorizes the carbon emissions into three categories, that is scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3. The scope 1, it includes the GHG emissions that are generated from all sources of combustion, and also it includes the GHG emissions coming from the unintended leakage of gases from the equipment and the plant which operate under the direct control of the organizations. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುನ ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬರುವಂತ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ 1 ಕೆಟಗರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೆಟಗರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಸ್ ಕಂಬಷನ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಬಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಬರುವಂತ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ 1. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ unintentionally caused leakages. So ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು equipments which are under the direct control of the organization. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ, unintentionally ಲೀಕೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ that is categorized into scope 1. So scope 2 of the GHG protocol, it actually includes the GHG emissions that are related to the energy content of the steam as well as heating plant and the cooling water. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಟೀಮ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು GHG emissions ಆಗುತ್ತೋ they are categorized into scope 2 of the GHG protocol. So the scope 3, it actually includes the GHG emissions that are embodied in the life cycle of the products and as well as in the corporate supply chains. Greenpeace, it actually employs 5 criteria in order to evaluate the electronic manufacturers in relation to the GHG emissions. So depending upon the amount of GHG emissions that are eliminated by the electronic manufacturers, Greenpeace, it uses 5 criteria to evaluate those manufacturers. That is, the first one is global GHG emissions reduction support. Second one is carbon footprint disclosure. Third one is own GHG emissions reduction commitment. Fourth one is amounts of renewable energy used. And the fifth one is energy efficiency of the new models. So, ಎಷ್ಟು GHG emissions ನ emit ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ 5 ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ಸ್ ನ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು, ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲಿ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ತನ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಫುಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಫುಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಜರ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲಿ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಬಂದು ತನ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಏನ್ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್. ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿನ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ರಿನ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಎಷ್ಟು ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವರು GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್. ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ಗೆ, ಸೊ ಅದರದ್ದು ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ, ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಹೇಗಿದೆ. So based on all these 5 criteria, Greenpeace, it will evaluate the electronic manufacturers. The first criteria, that is global GHG emissions reduction support. This criteria, it will actually examine the political commitment of an organization, that is the clear support for the mandatory global cuts of at least 50% by 2050 and cuts from industrial countries of at least 30% as a group. The second criterion, that is carbon footprint disclosure, it actually examines the level of disclosure of GHG emissions that is made by that organization or that manufacturer. It seeks to have the companies calculate and report the emissions that are coming from the scope 1, that is the direct emissions. The second one is emissions coming from the scope 2, that is indirect emissions. And the option 3, that is the emissions coming from the scope 3, that is supply chains. So direct emissions, they are through the combustion and unintended leakage of the gases from the plants and equipments that are controlled by the organization. The second emission, that is indirect emission, that comes from the steam plants, heating plants and the cooling water plants. And the third emission that comes from the scope 3, that is from the corporate supply chains. So all these 3 emissions have to be disclosed by a manufacturer. So the third criteria, that is own GHG emissions reduction commitment, it actually targets at reducing the GHG emissions from their own operations. So ಅವರು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ಸ್ ನ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಜರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅ ಬೆಂಚ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್. Similarly, the fourth criteria, that is the amounts of renewable energy used, it actually evaluates the use of renewable energy in comparison to the total electrical energy that is consumed by the company. So ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ, ಸೊ ರಿನ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೋಲಾರ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ, ವಿಂಡ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದಾಗ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ರಿನ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಆದಷ್ಟು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ವೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಡಿಕ್ಲರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ವೆದರ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. And the final fifth criteria, that is energy criteria anta kariತೀವಿ, that is energy efficiency of new models. It actually evaluates the adoption of energy efficiency standards in current and future products. So ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಗೆ ಸೇಲ್ಗೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿನೇ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒನ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಓಲ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಲೋಗೋ. ಸೊ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಅದೊಂದು ನಾನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೈಟಿಂಗ್ for the protection of the environment from pollution. So Greenpeace logo jotege flag. This is the logo and flag of Greenpeace organization. So this is, as I told, Greenpeace is an organization which is fighting against the various bad activities that is actually polluting the nature and the environment. So the first picture on the left side, it shows the Greenpeace members who are protesting against the plans in order to conduct deep water oil drilling in the Arctic waters. And this protest was conducted in the year 2011. Similarly, the second picture also shows the members of the Greenpeace organization demanding to free the Arctic region and also protesting against oil drilling in that deep waters. Then it also actually Greenpeace aims at saving the endangered species also. So you can see on the left side of the slide, there is an image where the protesters are demanding to stop the killing of whales in the sea, and also the protesters are requesting in the second picture in order to quit the usage of coal. Greenpeace, it is an international organization which is dedicated to preserve endangered species of animals and also to prevent environmental abuses and create environmental awarenesses through direct confrontation with the polluting corporations and with the governmental authorities. ಸೊ ಯಾರು ಎಂಡೇಂಜರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಲ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರಿಂದ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಬ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾರಿಂದ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ನ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಡ್ರಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಕ್ಟಿಕ್ ರೀಜನ್, ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾರೋ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋಂಥ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫೈಟ್ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂತ most popular environmental organization is Greenpeace. So actually it was founded in the year 1971 in British Columbia in order to oppose the US nuclear testing at Alaska. So ಅಲಾಸ್ಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ US ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1971. ಸೊ ಆಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಕೊಂಡಂತ ಒಂದು ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇದು. ಸೊ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಯರ್ಲಿ 55 ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಸೊ 55 ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸು ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಡೆದಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ನಾನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ NGO, ನಾನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ NGO. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಆಫೀಸಸ್ ಈವನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ it was found by the British Columbia because US was planning for nuclear testing in Alaska. So it was the foreign organization which has office in India. So ಈ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೆ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರಿನ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಯಾವುದೇ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳು ಏನ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತೋ ಅದೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಫಂಡಿಂಗು ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ has actually banned the foreign funding for the Greenpeace India under some act saying Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. According to the showcase notice that is served by the ministry, the license of the Greenpeace India, it has been cancelled it will be cancelled permanently if it fails to make a satisfactory presentation to the government. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇಂದ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೆ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗ ಒಂದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಆಂಟಿ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್. ಸೊ if it still continues to take the funds from the foreign countries, then the Greenpeace India will be completely banned by the government. So these are the quotations that Greenpeace organizations use during their protest against the anti-environmental activities. The left side says, when the last tree is cut, the last river poisoned, and the last fish dead, we will discover we can't eat money. And the second picture shows, for in the true nature of things, if we rightly consider, every green tree is far more glorious than if it were made of gold and silver. Similarly, we have the other two quotations. We won't have a society if we destroy the environment. And the right side picture says, We believe climate change is the biggest threat we face, but it's also an historic opportunity. It's our chance to save the world. So these are the different quotations that Greenpeace organization uses to protest and to protect the environment from pollution. Okay, now we'll move on to the assessment section with few multiple choice questions. So Greenpeace, it was founded in the year option A 1960, B 1980, C 1971 and D 1955. So option C, that is 1971, is the right answer. The second one, government has blocked foreign funding to Greenpeace India. Whether it is true or false? Yes, the government has banned or it has blocked the foreign funding to Greenpeace India. So the answer is option 1, true. Third question. According to the recent reports of Greenpeace, Dash is the largest emitter of sulfur dioxide in the world. So you may be shocked actually. India is the largest emitter of sulfur dioxide in the world. So according to the recent reports, the option D, India is the largest emitter of sulfur dioxide in the world. So the answer is India. Fourth question, Greenpeace is a non-governmental environmental organization. True or false? Yes, it is not a government organization. It is an NGO, that is non-governmental organization. So the answer is true. So Greenpeace, it has offices in over dash countries. So I told you nearly 55 countries have been the members of Greenpeace organization. So the correct answer is option D, 55. So question number 6. In the year 1990, Greenpeace played a significant role in raising the public awareness of option A, preserving endangered species, global warming, preventing environmental abuses. So in 1990, actually it fought against it actually fought for the awareness, public awareness of global warming. So the correct answer here is option B, global warming. So GHG emissions that are generated from all sources of combustion, unintended leakage of gases from equipment are categorized into dash by GHG protocol. So GHG protocol actually categorizes the GHG emissions into 3 scopes, scope 1, 2 and 3. Scope 1 will actually include the GHG emissions coming from the direct combustion, unintended leakages. So the correct answer here is scope 1. GHG emissions that are related to the energy content of the steam, heating plant and cooling water, they are categorized into dash. So scope 1, direct combustion and unintended leakages. Scope 2, it actually comes from the steam plants, heating plants and cooling plants. So scope 3, it actually comes from the corporate supply chains. So the answer here is scope 2. The political commitment of an organization, it is examined by global GHG emissions reduction support, option B, carbon footprint disclosure, option C, own GHG emission reduction commitment, option D, amounts of renewable energy used. So in this, the option A, that is global GHG emission reduction support, andre ಎಂಟೈರ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ GHG ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಕಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ Greenpeace. So here the option A, global GHG emission reduction support, is the correct answer. So 10th question, GHG emissions that are embodied in the life cycle of the products and corporate supply chains is categorized into dash by GHG protocol. Scope 1, direct combustion and unintended leakages. Scope 2, coming from steam, heating plants and cooling plants. Scope 3, it is from the corporate supply chains. So here we are discussing about the GHG emissions coming from life cycle of products and corporate supply chains. Hence, option B, scope 3 is the right answer. So from this session, you can expect the descriptive questions like mention and explain the criteria to evaluate the electronic manufacturers employed by Greenpeace. So for this, we have to write about the toxic chemicals, e-waste and GHG protocol. If they ask about the criteria to evaluate the electronic manufacturers in relation to GHG emissions, then you have to write the global GHG emission reduction, carbon footprint reduction, own commitment to reduction of GHG using renewable sources of energy and energy efficiency of new models. These 5 criteria has to be explained. So write a note on Greenpeace. So you have to write complete information about the Greenpeace, who found it, when was it found, what was the reason behind finding this organization, and what does this Greenpeace do. Everything should be written. So for more information on this social movements and Greenpeace, you can refer the book Harnessing Green IT Principles and Practices, written by San Murugesan and G.R. Gangadharan. Hope this session was useful to all of you all. I would like to thank all my team members who have helped me in immense way for the completion of this session completely. Thank you one and all.